What is good, my people, my peeps? So I'm here tonight, sort of, somewhat like a recap I want to do. And it's regarding the Miami incident, in the mall regarding the portals and the entities that were seen and, that incident that happened a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, well, I want to recap that incident because just the other day, I seen someone post a news report. And in that news report, it was the same information, just like what happened in Miami a couple of weeks ago. But this news report actually took place a year ago. Yeah, a whole year ago. The same information. And it had me wondering, well, we know for sure that the news is nothing but scripted um, material, right? Propaganda, so on and so forth. Whatever they want to put in the minds of the bots, the sleeping ones. We know that news, mass media is programmed. But nevertheless, I wanted to speak on the Miami incident in the mall that took place 2 weeks ago. And this news report that is the same script that took place a year ago. Most of the time, when we know of the propaganda known as the mass media, when they're reading off their scripts, you can basically pull up any news station at the same time, damn near, and hear the same script. But it's in that same timeline. This is different. So, I want to talk about the simulation, portals, time jumping, and puzzles. Because I've told you guys, I see things in it comes to me in puzzle pieces. So, simulations. We, if you don't know by now, are in a massive, major simulation, right? Everything has been pretty much pre prescribed, and we're going through this experience. However, you believe, I am not here to fight anyone on their belief systems. Um, as chosen ones, as TIs, the simulation already has us fighting against one another, suspicious of one another. Hello, how you doing, Kaboosh? Come on with it, Miss Lady. Shalom, sis. Shalom back to you. So it already has us suspicious of one another, especially the simulation. If you're a targeted individual or a target of the government system, the spiritual system, all of the above, if you're targeted, your simulation is very much different than the ones who are still asleep, the bots, the zombies. I have, and I will, I guess, go out saying my awakening to the targeted experience was not only carnal, it was also spiritual. And so before I get into talking about the simulations in Miami and the two different news reports, one 2 weeks ago and the original report that took place a year ago, I want to see if your spiritual eyes are open. And so I'm going to show you a picture that I took and I kept. And like I told you all, I can see not, and I don't want to have anyone confused. I don't just see demons, evil entities. I also have witnessed angelic experiences as well. But my my testimony was more for the awakening of others because of the shocking ordeals that I went through when awakening to the spiritual world um, on another level. I believe we all will elevate and ascend. So I took a picture 2 years ago when I received some flowers at my residence, and I didn't know who sent those flowers. But nevertheless, I went out and I walked up the street. I actually was new to this residence where I'm at. And I walked up the street trying to find out who sent them because I had seen a truck, but it wasn't like a regular truck. It was one of those white trucks, you know, if you don't, the ones that have been kidnapping women and children. Um, it was one of those trucks, not a flower truck or edibles. If you know what the edible trucks are, they decorate. It looks like a delivery truck. You get my drift? So as I go and check my neighbor, and they don't know, no, they had got flowers though. They had got a delivery. I won't say they had got flowers. They had got a delivery. So that's why I went to this particular neighbor's house. And they were like, no, they're not for me. But this truck slowly turns around and drives past me. And I had my camera out because I was live streaming the incident. And as I as the truck passed me, the delivery driver in the white truck turns and looks at me. Now, with my own eyes, I seen his skeletal face as in the movie They Live. But I have witnessed this years ago because I was running from, demons. So I snapped a picture on live, 3 pictures. And so those pictures are what I'm going to show you from 2 years ago. I want to see if I have anyone who has their eyes open yet. It won't be scary. I'm not here to shock you or to traumatize you in any way. So let me pull up that really quick. Hold on. Let's get, I might have to zoom it in because it's far away. So let me turn on the camera. So I took this March 4th, 2022. And the circle you see, let me see, let me know if you can see that. I'm going to try to go in and then I'm going to zoom in on the person in here in this vehicle. So I'm going to take my hand and zoom. Hopefully it won't blur out. So as you can see, when this person turned around, his face looked like Skeletor, not a human face. You can see the black and darkened eyes, and I would point to it, but I'm holding the zoom for you. You can see the hollow nose that I pointed to with the arrows. So I'm going to go to another photo. This is the white van that I described to you all. And I would pull up this video, but like I've told you guys before on some of my live streams, that I deleted a lot of videos. But this is the van, and this is one of the ones that walk amongst us. In this one, I didn't draw the arrows. I wanted to see if you can distinguish or see the entity in this person as the hollowed out eyes knows as he looked at me when he drove off, and he has a ball cap on. And then, so they're basically all of the same. I took 3, but I made sure to kind of, and I'm trying to, hold on. It's kind of hard trying to zoom in and hold this so that you all can see. Hold on for a minute. Oh, I guess that's as far as it can zoom, guys. So let me move my hand out the way. So right here, let me get close. Right here. Now, it's easy for me to see, but I just wanted to see for those who are viewing the chat and those who may come along in the replay. Can you see the entity? Okay. And I've done live streams like this before. I'm going to turn off this camera real quick, and let me see what you're saying, Caprice. They're messing with my phone so that I can't barely see. Okay, well, get if you get a chance to get a or use somebody else's phone, maybe you can see later. But I did a live stream right when this came out, and I had people on that live stream who were able to see the entity in this person. And I've done other live streams where I've taken pictures because, like I said, I can see them, you know, with my God-given eyes and also through photos. And so I wanted you all to see, you know, that picture, and that's one of, I think I've saved because I deleted most of them because it's really not for me to actually have you witness it. I'm just sharing my experience because if the Most High wants you, if that's part of your awakening and your ascending and elevation and gifts, then the Most High will bless you with that because it's for a purpose. Okay. Now back to the title, the simulation, portals, timeline jumping, and puzzles. When I came to you all and talked to you all about the Miami Mall incident and the entities that were seen at the mall, and I showed you, you know, the video that was produced by an eyewitness of the 3 shadow people. And, you know, we had a discussion about that. Well, there has been a video that shows a year ago of a news report, but not at this grand scale, but the same script, basically, regarding the firecrackers, the teens fighting, and so on and so forth. A year ago, the simulation portals, timeline jumping, and puzzles is the name of this live stream tonight. I wanted to start off with the entity that I just showed you all. But you know, they're so vast and so different that I just summarize them all as entities. they can be interdimensional, so on and so forth, because there are some that are trapped here as well. Um, but for to simplify it all, I will be calling them entities. Okay. I just showed you the entity that I captured, that delivered flowers to my home. Um, and this is what I would have you just to, if you don't mind, broadening your horizon or opening your mind to different thought processes, that although it was a man driving that vehicle, I saw within side of the man. I saw the entity that was within him, like when I see the entities in the eyes of people. Okay, they're riding along, they're in the vehicle, just like the man was riding in the white van. Okay, so it wasn't like a skeleton was sitting in the van. It was an actual man, a delivery man. I'm seeing within the spiritual realm. Okay, so with that being said, let's get to it. I talked to you guys about, also one more point, um, a theory that I had regarding our ascension, and not only just this is the golden age. And when I say the golden age, I hope that I made it plain and emphasized this well, that we are going to have still trials and tribulations, right? And it's like a fireball of a star, that's going to burn, 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 burn. And just it's beautiful, at the end of this, because it's going into a change. Okay. So I'm not trying to give you just a feel good message. I hope these messages are hard hitting and help you with your understanding as chosen ones with your walk, and targeted individuals with your walk, while we're here in this simulation. But nevertheless, I had a theory regarding multidimensional worlds, the ascension, because the world that we are in, the world that you witness, you have what was that movie, Left Behind? And I was trying to give a hypothesis regarding multidimensional worlds, but the reflection of the earth. So what I'm going to do is show you something real quick. Let me pull it up so that you can understand what I mean. Turn on the camera. So let me show you this picture. Can you see that picture? If I open it up, it will go away. Um, and let me know if the camera is blurry on your end. I had a dream, and I told you guys about this dream that I had regarding two different worlds. One world was dying; it looked like cracked mud, and then I had a dream of a new world. So tonight, when I talk about multidimensional worlds, um, the ascension, there's you're going to be, when people talk about heaven, you're not going to be in the sky. You're going to be in a new world, one that dies away, one system, one cycle. This old world that dies away, and a new world that is anew, comes anew, um, with everything that you're seeing now. So this is part of my theory, because I had that dream in 2012, and when the Most High woke me up uh, to a vision. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that for you really quick. Hold on. That I think started my awakening, and I misread it. I discerned it wrong at the time. I was married at this time when I had this dream. And I was awoken. There was a bright light. But the strange thing is, I woke up, but I was looking into my bedroom as like an outer body experience. I could see myself on the bed waking up from the bright light and my ex-husband laying down. The light was so intensively bright that I had to use my forearm to try to block the light. As I got up and looked over to my ex and tried to shake him awake on the bed. He couldn't wake up. He didn't wake up. But the light was coming through the window so bright, it lit up the whole room. So as I struggled, it almost felt like I struggled walking as if I was blinded, but it was light. It wasn't night. It was light that was so blindingly bright that it was hard to even look straight out without my arm covering my face. I made it to the window. As I opened the window, there were two worlds. There was one world that looked like it had been burnt, like mud. You know how mud, it looks cracked after it dries, deep crevices of cracks. But this world, I knew it was our world that we live in now. It had been burnt up, and it was crumbling and falling away. But then I looked right beside it, and there was another world. And this world was forming. I don't know if you ever seen someone who blows smoke in the sky, and they can make the smoke twirl and flip around, and it looked like that, but it was forming into a sphere. But there were colors of this world were so bright and beautiful, and colors I really can't describe. And they were forming, but it looked like smoke, but of these different colors. And then I could hear people below me saying, I want to go. I want to go. That was in 2012 when I had that dream. Okay. So I have stated this dream, my dream, in 2012 regarding the two worlds several times on my platform. But I said this one again a year ago. But that dream that I just described took place in 2012, and it will not leave me alone. It keeps coming back to me and back to me and back to me in thoughts, um, you know, over and over again. So what I'm going to talk to you guys tonight is just about a theory that I have, and I kind of briefly touched on it in a live stream probably a month ago, right before Christmas or so, 2 months ago. So multidimensional beings I brought up regarding Miami, but in the theory that I talked to you guys about is multidimensional worlds. Or I try to explain to you guys that if you have ever studied the Bible or are studying the Bible, are studying, because they've taken things out of the Bible, like the Apocrypha, so different books of the Bible that have been removed, you possibly have read that the Most High, the creator of all, does not live in the sky that you look at every day. And I tried to break that down to let you know that those are dimensions that they didn't teach you in school. They taught you about the sky and space, and not in the terminology of dimensions. And so when you look at the sky, you see the clouds and it's blue. And we know that as the first heaven, that is the first dimension, and it is under the firmament. Now, once you would, and they never breached the firmament quite as it's kept. Once you crack that ceiling, which is known as the firmament, you will see, or you will enter into the second dimension, another dimension, which is called the second heaven. And that is a whole different dimension. Um, and that is space. Okay. And in the Bible, it talks, uh, Paul is talking about him being brought up to the third heaven, to to the Most High, where the Most High was. And so, even past space, there is another dimension. And so, you can reference this in the Bible because so many people, I think, when it comes to biblical learnings and understanding, really are stuck with how they understood those words and those teaching from their Sunday school teacher or Sabbath school teacher, or, and I believe the Most High has opened up and poured out wisdom and understanding in these end times that were kept from us and from the people who they say wrote the Bible. That's why they don't want to read the Bible. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see. Um, it is, and I know I have this one part of the title, puzzles. It is a puzzle in my thinking. It is puzzle pieces that are literally coming together. And some of those puzzle pieces were kept off the board. Okay. And so I have to break it down for you to understand about dimensions, understanding multidimensional beings, such as the Most High Yah. He's not a being of this one dimension. And it was referenced in biblical text, you see. For Paul referenced it when he was taken up out of this dimension into the third dimension. So I wanted to reference that to get you have you an understanding of that, um, to help you kind of follow my theory that um, I've been pondering here. Okay, and if you can't understand dimensions in that level, if you've ever went to the lake, or if you've ever went to the ocean, and even if you haven't been on the boat, but if you've been on the dock of the bay and looked down into the water, well, you see, you are in an upper dimension known as Earth, the dry land. And you're actually looking down into another dimension known as the water or the lake. And you're separated by a thin film that's holding the water down. Those are two different dimensions. The fish are not floating up in the air into your dimension, where they're held with that thin barrier, but they're in a different dimension. So if you can understand it like that, I hope that helps to clarify. Now, my theory is because I'm talking to you all. This is kind of a recap regarding the Miami incident, and knowing that we are in a simulation and things are happening in the simulation, and it's so many things. And I'm a thinker, and that's sometimes my problem too. I can overthink things as well, but I can't help my mind from going. It just constantly is trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Now, I said a couple of months ago that I felt with the Mandela effect regarding Australia, that it's now not named Australia, it's Australasia or something along those lines. It's nothing to do with Australia. And they said they changed that name. That name had never been Australia since the 19th century. Well, I beg to differ, you see, because I was born in the 19th century, just like many of you, the late 19th century. You know, some of you guys were born in 1991, the late 19th century. And it was Australia. But if you look it up, they say that it's not Australia, it's Australia. It's a new name. Okay? The Mandela effect. This is a newer one. And when I talked about that Mandela effect, I gave the my theory of ascension. And you've heard by now, I'm sure, of the different Mandela effects, but this Australia one is the newest one that I've heard of. And with this ascension, there's worlds, multidimensional worlds. Like you're ascending into worlds, timeline jumping, if you will, portals, if you will. It's almost all one and the same, almost. And I was saying that for you as targeted individuals, you as chosen ones, when you awoke to your targeting and you try to communicate your targeting to people, friends, relatives, family, people you've known, since you touched down here, people who've known you all your life, were they different? At first, you didn't, you couldn't fathom the idea of your parents maybe not understanding you, who raised you, even if you didn't have your biological, the people you know who should have known you, you remember them, but they are not the same. For some, you felt betrayal, the most devastating form of uh, truth, trust breaking. Betrayal is that's traumatizing in and of itself. From your family, why is this person not the same? Why are these people acting so bizarre? Am I living in the world of the dead? What is going on? These people act like they know me, but they don't know me. Many targeted individuals have had this situation where they had to cope with it, because you are like many people who may not be targeted, but they talk about this Mandela effect, where they can remember, Fruit of Balloons, having the cornucopia, the basket, but they're in a new world of people saying that the cornucopia never exists. And people are saying, well, it's a marketing scheme, and everybody has these different reasonings for why things have changed. That dream I had in 2012, it sticks with me, it sticks with me, it sticks with me because, like I told you guys, I'm a thinker, and I love studying. I love documentaries and news and just all of the above. So I remember hearing about the Mayans and how the Mayans predicted that in 2012 the world, air quotes, was supposed to end. I had that dream, that bright light awakening me in 2012. And I can remember from that point, my life changed. It was slowly changing, but it changed. In 2012, it was not the first time, but it was a major time that CERN was turned on. CERN, that is in Switzerland, the machine that they're up there playing with, trying to find the God particle, trying to open portals. Now, it was said that in 2012, CERN was turned on, and it was to the extreme, and something went wrong, and our world as we knew it was destroyed, and we shifted into another dimension, another multidimensional world. This is what's the word on the street. Look it up. So, with that information, and I know I had this dream of two worlds right in front of my eyes, and this bright light awakening me, and it's like it just lives in my head. You know how they say rent free? It's there. Two worlds. I seen the old world die and the new world emerge. These dimensions, and people talking about the Mandela effect, and they can remember the fruit of balloons in the basket the fruit was sitting in, and these new people in the world that we're in say no, it never happened. The debates. But the people that can remember both worlds, whether it be the Mandela effect or whether it be my targeted individuals, you see, you have somewhat of a Mandela effect happening to you, where you see you were once in a world where everything was normal, air quotes, what we knew as normal. But then one day, it wasn't normal. You started picking up on patterns. You started picking up on patterns. Things came to you. And you might say, things didn't come to me. They did. I recall telling you guys that when I awoke to, the home invasions and the patterns, the following, the cars, the color coordination, I was like, what is this? It brings you to a brink of Is my brain about to explode with this overload of stimulation from all of these changes that I'm observing, but nobody else is? Remember Neo in the Matrix when he was sitting in his room on the computer and words started typing on the computer. Hello, Neo. I don't know exactly what it said, so just follow me. Do you remember that scene? If you've seen The Matrix, hello, Neo, because he, did some computer hacking on his off time from work. So he was working on a project because somebody was about to pick this his package up. He sat back like, who who's writing on this computer? How are you doing? Hope today was fine. Blah 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 blah. Neo, follow the white rabbit. Targeted individuals. How did you find out about gang stalking when it never existed in your world before? I thought I got online and found it. No, Neo. No, targeted individuals. You were like Neo, sitting somewhere. I can't tell you where and when, but the message came to you. The message came to you via your computer, your phone, whatever. And then you spiraled down the rabbit hole because you followed the white rabbit. Something, someone, or maybe it's just the program itself, wanted you to understand because you made it through or past a certain hurdle. You are like Neo. Neo didn't know anything until the computer, until the simulation gave him the next clue. And he followed the white rabbit after the knock came on his door because the person was there to pick up their package. Y'all remember that scene? And the girl that was standing with her boyfriend outside the door turned to him and said, "Let's invite him to the party." And when she turned around, the little white rabbit on her shoulder. First, Neo declined her offer, but then he saw the white rabbit on her shoulder. And down the rabbit hole he went to his awakening. Whether it be the simulation, the system, the alphabet soup that has awakened you, you are definitely awake. And now you are on this journey. Puzzle pieces, portals, timeline jumping, Mandela effects, the simulation. I want you to hear all of that so that you can understand my thoughts and my theory that something is huge going on here. So let me let you listen to the Miami report. The report that came out a year ago before the report that we saw 2 weeks ago. I explained to you in the beginning of this live stream that mass media is programming. Normally they are reading off a script, but it's normally aired at the same time, not years apart. What you're going to witness tonight is two almost identical reports. I'm going to expound on them once we listen to them and you can see them. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can cue the first video for you. Okay, yes, let me turn on the camera. And so this is the first one.
Now to a developing story out of Biscayne Bay, a chaotic scene near Bayside Marketplace after dozens of police cars flooded the area.
Yeah, police say it all started after a group of teenagers became unruly. According to investigators, some were fighting and others were setting off fireworks, which then led people to believe they heard gunshots, and that just caused panic. Officers quickly responded to the scene. 3 people are now in custody.
Okay, so you heard that. Did it sound familiar?
They want to give you...
Did it sound familiar? Let me start it over again. Let me play it one more time.
Now to a developing story out of Biscayne Bay, a chaotic scene near Bayside Marketplace after dozens of police cars flooded the area.
Yeah, police say it all started after a group of teenagers became unruly. According to investigators, some were fighting and others were setting off fireworks, which then led people to believe they heard gunshots, and that just caused panic. Officers quickly responded to the scene. 3 people are now in custody.
Okay, so
For cool weather.
let me stop that, because I want you guys to see the date on here. I got to pull it back up really quick. So you can see the date. Stop. Let me get it close. Let me zoom in for you. Right here. Y'all can stop trying to let your people know. Yes, I'm on live stream, partner. You're honking your horn. Trying to be on my live stream. Y'all see the date right here. This news report took place, oh my goodness, a year ago. Get back up here. Right here. 1 year ago. 1 year, I'm making your minds whatever, Kaboo. 1 year ago. Okay. Now we're going to hear the report that took place 2 weeks ago. Okay, let me get that back. That was on CBS. Okay, so this is the report.
Major concern. A lot of cruise ship passengers come here. It's a tourist destination.
Yes, that's right, Constance and Lorena. Last night, just havoc ensued here at Bayside after a group of teens got into a fight. Chaos happened afterwards, and now those 4 teens who were arrested are expected to appear in juvenile court later today. And here are some of those videos that were posted all over social media last night, showing that massive police presence. According to arrest reports, police say a large group of teens started causing a riot inside the mall and were lighting loud fireworks. They were entering businesses, possibly armed with sticks, causing damage inside stores and just creating panic for people inside Bayside. Now, as officers tried to control the situation, they tell us they had to shut down Biscayne Boulevard for 6 blocks until that all clear was given. A group of 50 teens also caused a disturbance at a nearby 7-Eleven downtown. One victim in the chaos told police that a teen...
Okay, we're here to hear about the fireworks and the corruption, the fighting, the fighting of these teens at the same mall, Bayside Mall. You just heard that same story that took place a year ago. This one is your story that took place 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Different news station. Now, I saw some people online. This one lady, she talks about her paranormal experiences. That's what she calls it. I don't call it paranormal because I don't call them ghosts or anything that nature. She might call them ETs or extraterrestrials or whatever. Or I prefer multi-dimensional beings or entities, if you will. So I seen it on her channel, the two different news reports, and people in her comments were just, they were confused. They really, because I scrolled the comments because I wanted to see what did people say. Nobody had a logical or even just a thought to. Matter of fact, let's check it out. Hold on, let me pull her let me cue her up real quick. See if I can get her over here.
Get your ass in here and sit down. Now I'm about to air out some dirty laundry. And I'm putting myself at risk by doing this. But I hate liars. Now I know y'all sick of hearing about Miami. But we're gonna get to the bottom of this shit. Now, there is a video on YouTube of the same exact incident from a year ago. A whole goddamn year ago. Roll the footage.
Developing story out of Biscayne Bay, a chaotic scene near Bayside Marketplace after dozens of police cars flooded the area.
Yeah, police say it all started after a group of teenagers became unruly. According to investigators, some were fighting and others were setting off fireworks, which then led people to believe they heard gunshots, and that just caused panic. Officers quickly responded to the scene. 3 people are now in custody.
Now I'm just gonna put myself up here in the middle of them two, since nobody want to tell the truth. Something is definitely fishy. Or do they just every year go to Bayside Mall, fight, and set off fireworks? You want to tell them? You want to tell them? Guess not.
I think I'll tell them.
Y'all see the title? Go look it up for yourself.
Look it up for yourself, people. Y'all see the title,
Yes, about it.
but you don't have to because we've gone over it a couple of times. So let's go to the comment section. Get close because you know I can't. Let's look at some of these comments. Let me see. Let me see if I see anything interesting. Walking the world up one truth, or waking the world up one truth at a time. So I'm going through the comments, waking the world up one truth at a time. That didn't tell me nothing. That don't mean nothing to me. Waking the world up, because she, in the video, actually, she just pointed out that there were 2 different videos, one a year ago of the news report and one 2 weeks ago. That still is not telling me nothing, but I know where she's coming from because I've watched some of her videos as well, because she sees different lights and things that's like I witnessed. So let's go down here. Somebody says, this reminds me of Men in Black, changing history, time, jumping. Told people this is insane. It's all planned. Right here. Let's see some more. This is insane. Definitely playing in our face. Same exact scenario? This one right here. Nobody is saying anything really substantial. They see the difference. They can compare it, but they can't understand it. They're bewildered. Okay? I saw comments saying that the video of the boys was from a year ago. I tried to find it, and here it is. Thank you. Still nothing. Nothing is hidden that won't be revealed. Okay, I'm tired of reading these comments. Let's get into it. I showed you that because I wanted to, with my audience over here on this platform, targeted individuals, I wanted to bring this to you and chosen ones because this is different, you see. This is, it's almost a Mandela effect, just like your awakening to your targeting. It was the same report, but not the same exact report. You see, even with the Mandela effects, it is the same Fruit of Balloons name, but something is always amiss. Something's always off, like the basket is missing, or a book is misspelled, the name of the book, or Australia is no longer Australia, it's a new name. Now, if you've ever looked at movies dealing with time travel or jumping, you know, they say don't if you time travel, don't mess with something, don't just observe, but don't interact. Because if you interact or you do something, the slightest change within the timeline that you jump into, it will throw that timeline off and make it shift or different. Now, that's just me. I'm a sci-fi person too, so I've watched plenty of timeline movies or time travel movies. You can't interact in the timeline that you're witnessing or you're viewing. Now, for you targeted individuals, I know you will understand this because your alphabet groups, they play in this world all the time. It's called remote viewing. Yes. In Area 54, where they had all those little rooms, you know, and they had these people with abilities to see. And they have a machine, if you didn't know, that they can put these people in and have them sit down, and they can remote view and look into the time forward or the time past. They're not supposed to adjust anything. But from my perusing on these internet streets, because we're in a time of information, it's abundant. I've heard that they are also able to jump timelines. And I say jump timelines. And I try to ease this information onto targeted individuals because I know you're going through a lot, and especially if you're new to your targeting and waking up. I don't want to overstimulate your mind because it's already racing with too much information. Something And I know you probably say that, well, you're not telling us nothing new. Something is just not right. But I don't know if my targeted individuals are looking at it, are seeing it from the perspective, um, or from my viewpoint as I see it. Because I'm not just looking at it um, just with the knowledge that I gain from what is in the scriptures, because some people just stay within, the Genesis to Revelations, right? None of the other books. And knowing that you can go to different realms, because if you go and if you've read the book of Enoch, he was taken into different realms several times. He was shown the inner earth, he was shown shield, he was shown different realms. And so tonight I just wanted to drop this information on you and see if you noticed anything, or maybe you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. My chosen ones, my targeted individuals. You're not in Kansas anymore. It doesn't matter who was awakened first. It doesn't matter who still believes in the Most High and who doesn't. As targeted individuals, as chosen ones, we are on a journey, and this, when I tell you you're not in Kansas anymore, I literally mean that. Nobody, as a targeted individual, knows that anything will go back the same. And to you bots and you sleeping sheep, you should know that as well, from any experiences that you've experienced from COVID, from 911, 9/11. Nothing remained the same after those major events, you bots, you sleeping ones. Targeted individuals, you have followed the white rabbit down the rabbit hole. These two different news reports, they are not on the same day or the same week, not even the same month. They are years apart. But one is basic, is talking about the teens, the firecrackers, the fight. A year later, the one that you witnessed or heard about is elevated, just like my targeted individuals understand. Everything is elevated. From the numbers you see, the patterns you recognize, it's elevated too. Now there's portals opening in the mall after the firecrackers. Now it's elevated because now there's three beings, interdimensional beings, coming out of these portals a year later. It's shut down, it's blackout as far as communications. It's elevated on this report a year later. Help me help you, my targeted individuals. That came off of a movie. Help me help you as I give you more puzzle pieces to ponder. The ascension is not just words in a Bible that are not real. The differences that you are witnessing are real. The people that you once knew are not the same. And I don't mean that in as if they're growing and developing and working on self. I mean, they're not the same. Hold on. You're providing some deep insight into things I haven't thought of before. Oh, thank you. Let me put you up here, Caboose. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if targeted individuals targets you. Have you? Maybe it's just me. Like I said, I do it, overthink. Like I said sometimes, and I do enjoy documentaries and just understanding and getting understanding of things. So it's not about, some things we've all seen on these internet streets. We've all bickered maybe once or twice with each other regarding targeting. Or you might hear, who's the best target? I'm the number one target because I get zapped in the ass every night. My ass cheek jumps 5 times before I go to sleep. Well, you know what? I'm the best target. I'm the number one. I'm the number one target because they zap my nose and it make my nose itch, and everybody think I'm a target. I'm a perp, but I'm not a perp. I'm a target. They zapping my nose. How top that? Well, I'm a target because the number one target. Are we really on the simulation mindset? Is it a competition? Are we here to figure out what the hell is going on? Of course, we may still have some of the grime on us from coming out of a portal or time jumping or shifting multidimensional worlds. And so you might still have the mindset of competition. You might still have the mindset of, well, the system was set up with my rights. I have rights. And you realize, nah, you're a slave. You might still have the mindset of, you still worship that God that you think that's going to save you. Well, my God is better than your God, and I'm a God, and you're asleep, and I'm more awake than you. Yeah, we all are still in the same bucket, trying to figure out, how did we get here? And if I can't call on my God, to help me, and you can't call on your crystal rocks to help you, then has anybody thought of stopping the bickering and contemplating why you? What makes you so special to be targeted? Is it all about hate? Is it all about just the okey doke government system that's just coming down on you? Because they want to make your world an absolute hell? Why? Isn't that what your parents would say, or your brother? Why you? Why would they want to make your life a living hell? To laugh? Of course, there's lower life energies that would find stupid stuff funny, to giggle and laugh. But why? Are you just gonna not use the mind that obviously they are trying to destroy? And really, while you're on these platforms, you're hearing the different stories of target individuals. Damn, I've told my story since the time I woke up to this, because I still have the residue of the other world that I know I should leave behind. We all have the residue of the other world that we used to know, that we must leave behind, fighting the system. When I know the system, of course, is not designed for us. But why? Are you here to cause more havoc? I leave these puzzle pieces for you on my platform. I try to gather as much information and put what I see, what I observe together. I'm not here to bicker and fight with any one of you. There's something. There's definitely something that will be revealed. And you are 10, 20, 30, 40 steps ahead of everyone else on this journey to see what the hell it is. Trust me, it's not just a mind fuck for you. It's not just this simulation. Something, whether you believe in the Most High Yah or not, wants to keep you here, wants to keep you under the delusion, first and foremost, of the world you used to know the world you are now aware of, and the world that is truly here. But why you? Why you? My chosen ones, my target individuals. There are puzzle pieces everywhere, and it's up to us to work on this puzzle together. Together. All information is better than no information. Whether you think somebody has a platform and they are speaking gibberish in your mind, you can't fathom or understand, or that doesn't mean it shouldn't be brought to the table. It might be a puzzle piece to aid with more understanding. You see, trust and believe. I've watched many of platforms of target individuals, and people, they have wisdom, they have knowledge, they have ideas and thoughts. But I tell you, we are not here to belittle one another. Because some of the thoughts I've heard come out of people's mouths that have been belittled on these platforms have come to pass. And they spoke these things before any other person that I've witnessed on these platforms have said, but they are belittled on here. Things that when they spoke them, I was like, really? Why are they fixated on this topic? But I would listen. And sure enough, they were right. I haven't said anything. I just sit back and try to put the puzzle pieces together, because every single person, if you're discerning and not competing, you'll put the puzzle pieces together. And then you might be able to figure out this targeting in the next shift. So I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about the simulation, the portals, timeline jumping, and the puzzle pieces. And I'm out, and much, much love.